Welcome to the Richness of Life podcast with your host, Janet Anderson. Join us as we walk on the path of self-discovery, remembering the richness of life. Together, we will explore the depths of the human experience, hear expert insights, have conversations, experience transformative stories, and learn everyday wisdom. Tune in and discover the richness that awaits you in each moment. Hey, everybody, it's Janet Anderson. Welcome to episode 4. You guys have been so busy streaming. I can't even believe how many streams have come in just in the last week. I'm so grateful. I hope there are takeaways that you're getting and you're able to just put those in your pocket. And when you're out in the wild living your life, I hope that you're able to pull those up and use them. On today's episode, we are going to talk about anger and all of its cousins, like annoyed, stressed, frustrated, irked, grumpy. And we're going to talk about why God gave us anger. When I learned this content when I was in the field, in the trenches, working with people early on in my career, I found it in a book. It was called Language of Emotions. I only read a certain part of it that I felt called to read. And I've been training and teaching on it for so long, I'm not even sure what is from the Language of Emotions book and what has just organically come out of using it for so many years with my clients. So today I'm going to share the first series on the function of anger, because every emotion that we have, God gave us our emotions as tools. Think about your hands. God gave you your hands because it's a tool. What are the things you can do with your hands? You can pick things up, you can hug people, you can write, you can tie your shoes. There's a function to your hands. There's a function to your brain. God gave us our brain to think things through, to calculate, to run the numbers, to run 10 different scenarios and then flip one little piece of information and then run 20 more. Sometimes when our brain gets running, that's called anxiety. Think about our feet. Our feet help us balance, our feet help us run and walk. We have all of these functional parts of our body. So why wouldn't our emotions be functional? We are born with the capacity to feel and experience and have our emotions guide us. They are healthy. When you learn this, it will change your life and the people around you's life, especially your children. Before we get started on anger and all of its cousins, I want to read a short writing from my book, Rise. I feel like it really captures the essence of anger. Raptured. I stand in front of our small country house watching my mom husk corn for supper. Dark, billowing clouds appear over the cornfields, and the electrical current of the storm swells in my body, initiating its twinge in my gut, expanding into my arms and legs. The oaks speak to me by revealing the naked side of their leaves. I'm not the only one to heed the oak trees as I notice the animals are unsettled and scurrying to seek shelter. I look over at my older sister, and she validates my experience by her own state of being. My mother glances up from the corn and announces, "Looks like there's a storm rolling in." Upon this announcement, the built-up energy sent by the storm catapults my sister and me into action. It is now a race between us and the storm. We sprint to close the barn doors, lock the gates, check to make sure the animals have found safe harbor, and stow objects that are vulnerable to taking flight. The thunder shakes inside us. The lights turn down, and the rain's melody begins. In this moment, the storm is me, and I am the storm. I think this writing captures the essence of the emotion of anger. God gave us anger as a way to sound the alarm when we are being personally violated. That's kind of a big word, being violated. A boundary has been crossed. Well, what is a boundary? A boundary is anything that is coming into our body physically, emotionally, sensory. When I teach this in my office, I make a circle on the floor. And inside that circle, I put a little candle. And that little candle represents your core self, who you are, your soul, your light, your God essence that's in you, and it can't be destroyed. Everyone comes equipped with it. When we're connected to our core, we have creativity, we have excitement, we see beauty in things, we have intellect and smarts. When we're connected to our core, we know it, we feel it. The way I describe it to my clients is those old radios where there's a little needle by the numbers that slide back and forth. When you turn the knob, if you're not on the radio station, there's a lot of static. Shh. But then when you hit the radio station, it is clear sound. Right there. That's what it's like when you hit your core essence of who you are. It's important to try to get connected to your core. There are certain things that you can do each day to help you get connected to your core. Being in nature, praying, meditating, exercise. Doing one of the actions and behaviors that we naturally end up doing when we are connected to our core. For example, being creative. You can go do something creative that is like a side door in to getting connected to your core. You're never guided in the wrong direction when you're connected to who you are at your core. It helps you get connected to God. From there, God's GPS is always beeping at you to help you find your way back home. He equipped us with these amazing emotions to help guide us because they do specific things for us. There is a meditation that I teach clients to do, and it helps you get connected to your core. It's called the I Love You meditation. It's one of my most favorite meditations to have people to do. I believe that there are legions of God's angels that chant your name, that radio station around the clock, 24/7, and not just one angel, legions of angels. That radio station that's broadcasting, we're just going to tune into that in this meditation. So you'd find a quiet place and you just say out loud, and I'll do it for myself. I love you, Janet. I love you, Janet. I love you, Janet. Janet, I love you. I love you, Janet. And you just sit repeating that over and over and over again. And as you do that, there will be a shift. There's going to be either a visual or a sensation or a memory. You're going to get information. I believe the information you get is how your love is meant to show up in this world. When I did this exercise myself, it was really profound because as I sat there hearing the radio station over and over again, the visual that I got was like the light of Niagara Falls coming into my head, shooting out of my whole body and my hands, and just radiating out. And then it would circle back and radiate out again. What I realized is that love, that God flows through me, illuminates. That totally makes sense for the work that I do. I go into the shadow with God's light inside me. I remind them that they have light inside them. And then together we use that light to walk right out of the shadow and guide us. This I love you is the GPS. It's guiding us home. Sometimes when people do this meditation, they hear the blocks. So you might be sitting there going, I love you, Kim. I love you, Kim. I love you, Kim. And all of a sudden you hear this voice go, what are you doing? That's ridiculous. Don't say that anymore. So notice when those blocks come up and what do they say? And I'm going to guess, if you could tell me what they said, I've probably heard it before. Because darkness is not that creative of how it wants to create blocks in your life. It's most likely going to attack a certain part of your essence or being, and I have found it likes to create doubt right around the essence of who you are and what God has in store for you. For example, if you're someone who's supposed to write a book, when you start this meditation, and you might be saying, I love you, Samantha. I love you, Samantha. And all of a sudden you hear this voice go, what are you doing? You can't do that. And that whole idea about you writing a book, that's just nonsense. No one is going to read that. Another example could be maybe God really wants you to go out and help people of a different ethnicity. And as you're doing this meditation, and you might be saying, I love you, Bill. I love you, Bill. And then you might hear a voice saying, what are you doing? You don't get to say those things. That's ridiculous. You're not smart enough. You aren't talented enough. All of a sudden it throws up the enoughs and a lot of doubt. Notice those blocks as you're doing this exercise. And then come up with a plan to address those blocks, because those blocks are just a shadow. The moment that light will hit them, they dissipate. I love the I love you exercise. I hope that you will try it and let me know how your love shows up. Maybe it illuminates. Maybe it echoes. Maybe it is like water that sustains people. Maybe it cleanses people. Maybe your love is like the wind and it creates movement and it supports people. There are so many different ways that love is meant to show up here. I truly believe that God has a specific reason for the love that He has for you. When I'm in the office with people and I create a visual regarding the function of emotions, I start with a circle. In the middle of the circle, I put a candle. And that candle represents your core self. And when you're connected to that, love flows through with ease and abundance and joy and happiness and safety. And boundaries naturally flow when you're feeling love, when you're resonating love. That is your core self. Now imagine the perimeter circle around that light, that candle in the middle. Around the perimeter is a lion. And its job is to patrol the perimeter to protect you. And there's just one lion, and it goes around and around and around, and it loves its job. And its job is to sound the alarm when there is a threat, and for sure when a boundary is being crossed or you're in danger. Imagine if someone came up to the perimeter and tried to cross it, or they did cross it, or they came to throw a stone at you, or they shot an arrow at you, the lion starts roaring to sound the alarm. Hey, 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 core self, candle in the middle. There's someone that's violating the perimeter, the boundary of your internal psyche. No one is supposed to be in the inside circle next to you. If they are, that's unhealthy. There's probably codependency or enmeshment. No one gets to be on the inside of that circle. And your lion, the emotion of anger, is there to sound the alarm. The function of anger is it sounds the alarm when we perceive that an emotional or physical boundary is being crossed. That's it. It's so good for us. And if we don't use anger in a healthy way, then we don't have the container to manage all of the other emotions that we have. When you're starting your healing journey, anger is the first one to learn about. When you feel anger, or any of its cousins, stressed, irritated, annoyed, bitter, that is a clue that you're perceiving that there's an emotional or physical boundary that's being violated. And anger is rising up in your body just like that lion and saying, hey, 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 something's going on. And then you have three choices. You can say to the lion, go get him. And the lion runs off into the wilderness chasing whatever that violation was away. That's rage. But imagine when the lion leaves the perimeter, it is now vulnerable. So then what your psyche does is it pulls up an additional lion. The other lion comes back and is like, okay, oh, good. We ran them away. But the other lion doesn't go away. So now the next time you have an emotional or physical boundary violation, you have the energy of two lions to sound the alarm. Imagine if that happens over and over again. You could have a whole troop of lions when you really just need one angry lion to sound the alarm. Now, when you experience significant events, technically called adverse childhood or adult events, or trauma, big T or little t traumas, there's a natural state where we have a whole bunch of lions that come out because your psyche just can't take another hit. And healing from that trauma is slowly allowing, through grief and processing, to release each of those lions and eventually get back to the spot where you only need one healthy, angry lion. So that's option one. The alarm, someone tries to violate you, say they talk behind your back. You're angry about that. Oh, that's the lion sounding the alarm. What am I going to do? Option one, rage. That's it. Go after her. You also could do sugar-coated anger and be passive-aggressive and start a rumor about the person who's talking about you. That never really goes well. Option two, there is an emotional or physical boundary that's being violated. Your anger, that lion patrolling the perimeter, rises up, sounds the alarm. Hey, 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 someone's hurting us. You at your core say, shh, don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't say anything. Just go to sleep. So you tell your anger to go to sleep. And then guess what? That person or situation gets inside your internal psyche, and it's not supposed to be there. It has way too much power in your life. I think about it as like renting space in your head for free. No one gets to do that. The two unhealthy ways that we deal with anger is one, we rage, which only creates more anger. Two, we shush it. Sometimes we go back and forth between them, and then that just becomes chaotic in our own world. So you might be like, well, what is a healthy thing to do, Janet? Well, here it is. It's very simple. When you notice anger in your body and or any of its cousins, you ask yourself, how am I perceiving a violation of a boundary, emotional or physical boundary? Ask the question. Anger's there to give you that energy to reestablish the boundary. And sometimes reestablishing the boundary is walking away. It's that simple. There's no good or bad anger. Rage is the toxic side of anger and only will create more anger. Passive aggressiveness is the sugar-coated side of anger and will only create more anger and drama in your life, and most likely triangulation in your relationships. Shushing your anger allows people to have power in your life that they're not supposed to, and would be a textbook example of codependency, a trauma response, like freezing or fawning. And it allows people to rent space for free. We definitely need to evict anyone who's renting space for free in your head. Anger builds the container for all of the other emotions. When that container can fill up, then it overflows. You're in a state of abundance, emotionally, physically, maybe even financially. Then from that overflow is when you get to help and show up for other people. Anger is a building block. It is a core emotion. If you would tell me I never get angry, then I would say that you're not in touch with your God-given emotion of anger. Anger isn't bad. It just sounds the alarm when an emotional or physical boundary is being violated. Because of trauma in the past, you have more anger lions that are sounding the alarm. So having an evaluation on, is this accurate or not? But first you have to have the emotion. You have to feel it to heal it. You have to name it to tame it. How does anger feel physically in the body? It has an increase of cortisol. It's an increase of adrenaline. It causes heart to increase in beats. It causes tightness in the muscles. It gets your muscles ready if it needs to defend itself or run. Thoughts that come with it might be defensiveness, might be wanting to push someone away, emotionally or physically. It's trying to create the boundary that it perceives has been violated. Healthy use of anger is to ask yourself, when you feel anger or any of its cousins, how do I perceive myself as being emotionally or physically violated? And then how do I reestablish that boundary? Anger will then dissipate. And that healthy use of anger is going to create the container that everything else gets to function in and with. Along my own healing journey, I have come to remember how much I like singing, and I had my own wounds that were blocking me from doing that, but I stepped out of my comfort zone. And many of you have been watching this transformation, especially on Facebook. Along the way of doing this, I picked up playing guitar again, and I've been practicing different songs that I like. And there is a specific song by Patty Griffin called Forgiveness. And when I think of anger, and especially the lyrics of this song, It's so profound. And I thought I would give it a go and try to play and sing that song for you on today's podcast. What I like about the song is I think it really captures the essence of the human existence, because we are part light and we're part shadow, and we can become monsters. And if we do not, it's going to sound weird, if we do not honor the fact that we can become monsters because of survival instinct, then that's when we're the most dangerous. Acknowledging that we can all get pushed to a spot where we become a monster is important. This song captures this battle, this struggle between the snake in us, hell, and the light in us, heaven's bells, and love. Both of those are calling to us. Through our healing journey, I believe it's more of a remembering of the love that we are, because we are made in God's image. We are light and we are salt, according to Scripture. And we have sovereign choice, and we have to choose. But both sides are calling for us. And everyone needs a little forgiveness. Within the Christian faith, we believe that that forgiveness comes from Jesus, and that he paid the debt for our sins. The debt has already been paid in full. Mary has already crushed the serpent's head under her foot. The debt is paid. This is Forgiveness by Patty Griffin. I just love these words. We are swimming with the snakes at the bottom of the well. So silent and peaceful in the darkness where we fell. But we are not snakes, and what's more, we never will be. And if we stay swimming here forever, we will never be free. I heard 'em ringing the bells in heaven and hell. They got a secret they're getting ready to tell. It's falling from the skies, it's calling from the graves. Open your eyes, boy, I think we saved. Open your eyes, boy, I think we saved. Let's take a walk on the bridge, right over this mess. Don't tell me a thing, boy, already confessed. I raised my voice to the air, and we were blessed. It's hard to give, it's hard to get, but everybody needs a little forgiveness. We are calling for help tonight on this thin phone line. As usual, we're having ourselves one hell of a time. And the planes keep on flying right over our heads, no matter how loud we shout. Hey, 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 And we keep waving and waving our arms in the air. We're all tired out. I heard somebody say today's the day. A big old hurricane, she's blowing our way, knocking over the buildings, killing all the lights. Open your eyes, boy, we made it through the night. Open your eyes, boy, we made it through the night. Let's take a walk on the bridge, right over this mess. Don't tell me a thing, boy, already confessed. I raised my voice to the air, and we were blessed. It's hard to give, it's hard to get, it's hard to live, boy. Still, I think it's the best bet yet. Hard to give, and I'll never forget. But everybody needs a little forgiveness. Everybody needs a little forgiveness. Aren't those words just so amazing? Thank you so much for tuning in for episode 4. I hope that you are able to start practicing and using anger in a healthy way. And I'll end with the lyrics of the song as a reminder. Sometimes we end up swimming with the snakes at the bottom of the well, so silent and peaceful in the darkness where we fell. But we are not snakes, and what's more, we never will be. And if we stay swimming here forever, we will never be free. Many blessings. May God protect you. May He remind you of the light that you carry. May He protect your loved ones. May He protect your journey. For you are made in God's image. The debt has been paid in full. And before you took your first breath here, when you spoke the name of God, He whispered into your soul your path. And the chorus of angels started chanting, I love you. I love you. Many blessings, everybody.